unless you were living under a rock, you probably already know that Nintendo has confirmed Legend of Zelda live action movie 2027 release date through Nintendo Today app. Now, before I even go further on this, it's been so long since Nintendo confirmed the live action Zelda movie that I've seen many people be confused, being like, oh, there's a live action Zelda movie being made today. It got announced. And I'm like, no, they announced it like 2 years ago. Like, this is just the date of it is confirmed. Like, we knew it was coming. This is just now we know when. A 2027 release date is insane, though. I mean, that's a long, long time from now. Let's check it. It's finally official. And shout out to that Park Place. Says The Legend of Zelda is coming to theaters as a live action movie on March 26th, 2027. So basically, almost exactly 2 years from right now. Courtesy of Nintendo. Announced via the company's new Nintendo Today app, which it's not how I found out about it, to be honest. Like, first thing I do every morning is not, well, first off, my first thing I do is I get up and take a piss. Second thing I do is I get my phone and I open Twitter, and my feed tells me what's going on. And I saw every post in a row, just scrolling through every single person being like, oh my God, Zelda movie date. Oh, it's a Nintendo app. I was like, wait, what the hell? I was like, oh, and I went to the Nintendo app, and that's where I saw it being, I'm like, okay. And I looked at the situation. This is a little bit different take on the movie story, is I see what Nintendo's trying to do here. And I think it's very smart, where they're trying to make a big impact. They announced yesterday on the Nintendo Direct that this app was available. And you guys that were here last night on the stream saw me download it like on the stream and show you what it looked like. And the very next day, they did a fairly massive announcement on it, which is we have a release date for this live action Zelda movie. So they're already setting a standard of expect actual news to come to this area. And it's almost like Nintendo is trying to create their own ecosystem, their walled garden environment to deliver news to people without needing social media, without needing Twitter, X, Facebook, Blue Sky, whatever else, YouTube. They want to have their own place to give it to people. And I think that is not going to work, but it could. I don't have much faith in it working, because here's the thing. Nintendo is a toy company first. They're a video game company second. And they're a technology company third. And they're like an app company like 43rd. Like that's not their bread and butter. So I would almost prefer them focus more on the technology, the games, the products that they make, and leave the marketing and social media to the pre-existing areas that people use, so that we can just have a place to go for it. Because the last thing I want, and I think a lot of people can agree with this one, the last thing I want is yet another app that I need to open every morning to find out what the hell's going on. And I'm not going to open my Nintendo app every morning and find out what else is going on in the world. Where I think X is ideal, because you can curate who you follow to get the exact news that you expect to see. And if all you care about is Nintendo news, guess what? You can follow Nintendo and just Nintendo on X, and just whenever Nintendo posts something, it will show up on your feed. The last thing we need is another app to go into. While some fans are thrilled to see Link and Zelda hit the big screen, it's not all sunshine and rupees for everyone. After the Super Mario Brothers movie raked in over $1 billion worldwide, by the way, holy shit. That is insane. Many assumed Zelda would follow suit with a sleek animated adaptation, possibly setting up a full-blown Nintendo cinematic universe, which, by the way, yep, I was one of those people. I actually made a video on it where I was like, we are going to have our own Avengers universe here. With eventually, Nintendo is going to do their own Avengers Endgame trilogy and put all the characters all together. And sure, they could find a way to do it at some point in the future where the live action characters get sucked into the TV and they turn into the digital versions of them. And then at that point, or they get sucked out of the TV and they turn into the real life, or they mix and match throughout the movie eventually. Like, I could still see it happening, but now this is like an extra step for that to happen. And to be honest, I would have preferred this to be a CG movie because I feel like it fits, or even like a cell shaded movie. Like they could have done something original in the steps or following the steps of like Tears of the Kingdom, where they could make it like that kind of graphical style. And it would have been amazing. And it would have been unique because I don't know many movies that try to do that kind of stuff on a grand scale. The only movie from Nintendo that I would want to see a live action from would be Metroid. I think that could be amazing. Like with like an alien style background, and even make it like more of a mature movie, like a PG-13 movie, because that's more the audience for Metroid. I think that would be legendary. King Snowlock says Sweeney is a hot Samus suit rolling around, bouncing and shooting Metroids billions. Yeah, Nintendo would never do that, but I agree. It would literally print money. Mario was a massive success under Universal and Illumination, blending crowd-pleasing visuals, nostalgia, and non-threatening script to box office gold. I will say why Nintendo may not be doing the CG version of Zelda would be because Illumination and Universal are partnered with them to be making a sequel to the Mario movie. And they could currently be working on it right now. And that could be taking up all their time. So if you announce like another movie, then it would set the creation all the way back for everything. So maybe that would be a reason for doing it. But here's the twist. Zelda won't be animated. It's fully live action, and it's not being made by Universal Illumination. It's being distributed by Sony, which if you saw my video that I covered this 2 years ago on, if you're one of those lucky 436 people that saw that video, which ironically, there are more people in the chat right now than watched that video. Isn't it funny how a channel can grow in 2 years? Think about that for a second. That's wild. Yes, Sony, the Morbius and Madame Web studio. Sometimes the universe just enjoys a laugh. From excuse me, princess, to Oscar season, Wes Ball, fresh off Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, is attached to direct. He's proven he can handle sweeping fantasy and motion capture creatures, but this will be a whole different beast. The key challenge, Link himself. For decades, Link is the silent protagonist. He doesn't talk. But he did in the cartoon, but he was annoying as hell. Anyone that actually is old enough to remember the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and on Fridays it would be The Legend of Zelda. I was like addicted to that. And it was annoying, but it was still entertaining and I enjoyed it. But I don't know as an adult if I would be able to bear that kind of approach again. So hopefully they take a more Lord of the Rings style approach to the environment and a more serious angle of Link. I'm hopeful for that. So naturally fans are nervous because to put Link on screen in live action, someone will have to cast him, someone will have to write dialogue for him, and someone will have to decide who Link is. I'm wondering. Oh, here they even have the clip here.
Well, excuse me, princess.
That's great. Oh, man. The last time someone gave Link a voice was the infamous, I don't know if it was infamous. It wasn't that bad. Legend of Zelda animated series from the late 80s. It was all right. That gave us the Eternal Light. Well, excuse me, princess. So, yeah, they talk about the cinematic universe that my hopes are dashed on. I guess at this point, all people are going to care about is who gets cast in this movie. But to be honest, I was wrong about Chris Pratt. I thought he was going to be terrible as Mario, and turns out he was fine. He did fine. He was better than I was expecting. So with that being the case, I'm sure no matter who they cast, people are going to be in an uproar because nobody's happy with anybody these days, especially in Hollywood. Nobody likes anybody in Hollywood anymore. Like, think about it. Name one person in Hollywood that is well liked by anyone outside of maybe like old actors. I'm talking about like younger actors that could get away with be playing Link. Older actors, yeah, they're more respected and stuff. But younger actors, like that would play Link. I mean, you guys, Denzel, Keanu. I'm talking about people that could play. You want Denzel Washington to play Link? I mean, to be fair, I would watch that movie, and I think that would be hysterical. Ryan Reynolds, yeah. But I guess like, yeah, Holland, yeah, but he's too old. Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito should play one of the fairies at the fountain. I'd be fine with that race off. Macaulay Culkin. Oh man. Pedro Pascal is Ganondorf, exactly. I mean, would anyone, like, legitimately, would anyone even be surprised if Pedro Pascal was Ganondorf? I think we'd be like, yep, makes sense. He's literally in everything, so why not? Jack Black is Tingle. I could see that. I could totally see that. Danny DeVito is Tingle. Tom Cruise 30 years ago, exactly. Yeah. Brie Larson is Chic. I could see that. I could totally see that. Arnold should be the king. Sylvester Stallone. But my point, you guys are making my point, is like all the people you're naming are like super old. Like Hollywood is no longer Hollywood anymore. It's too bad. But hey, they did it to themselves, and now nobody likes them. So yeah. But shout out again to Montanaro and that Park Place for saving me the struggle on this one. But as far as the Zelda movie, it's going to be very interesting to see who they cast for it. I'll leave that at that.